Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I want to start by sharing a story of a personal experience with dating. And I went out with a man who I liked. He was a good guy, but you know what? He didn't have a job. He didn't work. There was always some reason why he couldn't reach his goals in life. And in general, he was very subtly manipulative. And so when we broke up, I decided, I don't want to be with that type of man again. So here comes man number two that I start to date. He's got a good job, he's consistent, he's a hard worker. And I think, all right, this guy's different. But I notice over time, he has even more intense ways of manipulation. And even though these men were in different packages, they were very different in the way they dressed, they presented themselves in the world. I soon found out that they had a very similar dysfunctional pattern. And I had to look at what was wrong with me that I was picking the same candy, but in a different wrapper. And so today I want to talk about why you're choosing the wrong men, why you feel like you have a broken picker. My name is Kristen. I'm a dating and relationship coach, and I help women to break these kinds of patterns and embody their true worth so that they can create lasting love. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, come on, jump into this community, and we're gonna have lots of fun learning about all things dating and relationship, and I'd love to have you along, so click that subscribe button below. I wanna talk about what are 3 things that are going on when we find ourselves having that broken picker, where maybe right now you've just had a breakup and you're realizing, gosh, this feels really similar to my last relationship, or there were strands of similarity in the relationship. Maybe it was a little different flavor, a little different circumstance, but here you are back in the same place where you feel heartbroken and you really want things to go differently the next time around. So I want to share the first one. We believe that high chemistry defines soulmate love. So we've been taught in our culture to believe that love happens, the right love happens, love at first sight, right? Suddenly you see each other across the room, there's these sparks flying, you're on your first or second date, you're like, wow, this guy's amazing, because you feel this pull, this, what some people call the urge to merge. However, when there's really high chemistry, oftentimes there's a couple things at play. So what can happen sometimes is that person will have traits in themselves that are opposite of you. So one's really passive, one's really decisive, one's really rebellious, one's really compliant, one's really energetic, one's really chill. And these opposites attract, right? However, often what the case is when it's super high attraction is that you have something that you admire in that person, this opposite trait, because you have it in yourself too, but you haven't yet owned it. So there's something it's creating the attraction because you haven't yet owned it in yourself. And this can often create the basis for high chemistry. Then at the point at which the chemistry starts to fade, you realize you're so different, or you don't really have enough compatibility to sustain the relationship. But that high chemistry, the hormones are flying, the emotions are going off, and it can really connect you, so you're not really thinking clearly to consider compatibility. So it can cause you to pick the person that is not the best or healthiest for you. Okay, the next reason why your picker can be off is an earlier experience in life shaped a pattern that feels familiar to you. So we have, from very young age, we create these attachment styles that are familiar because of a way that our family member treated us or related to us. And so when they maybe didn't give us something we needed, or something was missing, or let's say we were abandoned by a parent, or we had a workaholic, or a single mother that just had to be working all the time. So we had this absence of a parent, let's say, and we as kids don't quite understand it, so we create a story about us. I'm not worth being around. And so we get this feeling that it feels familiar to not have someone caring for us be really present in our life. So when we're meeting men that aren't emotionally available, or they aren't physically available, maybe they're a workaholic, maybe they're still involved with an ex, or overly involved with their caregiving of their parent, and it feels normal to us. However, our needs aren't going to get met And so we're overriding that fact that the need might not get met in that partnership because we're still thinking that maybe this could be the resolution to the absent parent I never had. And subconsciously, this is all happening so that we're thinking that through this person, we can kind of redeem the love that we never had. And the last reason is we tune out our intuition because we don't want to lose love. So this one relates a lot to the first two, in that if we didn't get a certain kind of love earlier in life, we tend to think that we value that connection more than we value what's going on inside here. Whether it's needs we have, whether it's intuitive, like hello, warning sign going off, whether it's a preference we have or a desire that we have, we've learned at some point that in order to get our needs met, we have to maintain that connection with them at all costs, even at the cost of disconnecting from our God-given wiring and intuition that leads us to tell us what's good for us and what's not good for us. And so what this looks like is we can be spending time with a guy, and let's say you're spending time with a guy, suddenly he gets critical of you. It comes out of nowhere, because maybe at first he was really nice, really generous, giving, attentive, and suddenly criticism. It hurts, right? You get this hurt, punch to the gut, and then you let it slide because you think, oh, he's been so nice, this has so much potential. But the next morning, you wake up, and in the morning, pay attention, ladies, our intuition is the most talkative. In the morning, you get this hit, like, maybe he isn't the best guy for me. That didn't feel so good yesterday. And then you see a text from him, and you think, oh, but this relationship has so much possibility. There's high chemistry. We both like this kind of movie, and you override it. And so what happens a lot of times is we have this intuitive sense and hunch as women. It can be very heightened and strong, and yet we override it because we think that we don't want to lose connection. So these are 3 of the reasons why it leads to having a broken picker. And the good news is that if you can relate to any of these, this is fixable. With lots of intentionality, practice, and support in your current relationships, you can start to shift this pattern so that you can trust your intuition, you can change familial patterns into new ones that are healthier, and you can have steady chemistry with consistent compatibility that will lead you to a good man for you. So if you know that you'd like to get support around shifting this pattern of having a broken picker, the best way is to really have someone on your team who can help you to see some of those blind spots, help you to stick with changes as you're making them, and have that kind of accountability and cheerleading that will really help you to transform so that you can create lasting love. Also, I'm excited to be offering a free monthly masterclass that will support you on your dating and relationship journey. You can find the link to that next class in the description below, and this upcoming class will be on why your body is your best co-pilot in dating. So click on the link below to sign up. It's totally free, and I'd love to see you there. All right, friends, I'll see you on the next video. So much love to you. Take care.